Hello, friends. Welcome into Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey with our first 7-round mock draft of the year for Tennessee. No trades in this one. However, if you want a mock draft in the future with trades, then show me you do by liking this video right now. We're doing a 7-round mock draft here on the Tennessee Titans. Couple of quick notes before we get going here. I use the Pro Football Network simulator. All the sims are broken. They don't quite reflect the value yet. They will eventually get caught up, but that's just life before the combine. So, let's break down my pre-combine mock draft for Tennessee. First, some notable prospects off the board in round 1 for pick number 26. Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia, he's gone. Receivers Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, and Drake London are gone. But guess who was there for Tennessee? Treylon Burks, who I think would be a fantastic selection here if Tennessee could get him in round 1. Now, he's built like an outside your X position wide receiver, but he was mostly a slot for the Razorbacks. I'm talking a Deebo Samuel type of role. Hell, just go watch the first 3 minutes of the Alabama game, and you'll see Treylon Burks lined up out there at running back. Big frame, 6'3", 225. There's been some weight question marks. We'll know in the very near future. He's going to be a top 32 guy for me, easy. Great production at Arkansas, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns on 66 grabs, 14 carries, 112 yards, 9.2 yards after catch on average. The size-speed combo is impressive. The weight is a bit of a question mark. It allegedly ballooned a little bit before this year's combine. That's okay. That's why you work out, why you train. I wonder how he is as a route runner. There wasn't a ton of separation, but that size-speed combo, you cannot overlook it. So if Burks is there in round 1, I think he has to be the pick for Tennessee. The guy that gave me pause was Tyler Linderbaum. He was also on the board for me. I was tempted by it. I really considered it, but I wanted to go with Burks. I think that's just too much fun for Tennessee. And you can always just re-sign Ben Jones anyway. Also, we're Sam Howell and Trevor Penning was there, but I think you can get by it at tackle for now. Jahan Dotson was the other good receiver, and Trayvon Walker made me think about it. If you don't retain Harold Landry, which would be stupid, Walker could be a great pick. So who do you want the Titans to draft in round 1 this year? I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So while the ad break plays on YouTube, if you get it, scroll down there and let me know which prospect or prospects, if you want to be a coward, you want Tennessee to take in round 1 this year. No second-round pick, thanks Julio Jones. So round 3, pick number 90. 2 tight ends off the board. Greg Dulcich out of UCLA. Jalen Weidermeyer from A&M. 2 linemen who I think are going to go a lot earlier. Bernard Raymond from Central Michigan. Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. And edge rusher Nick Bonito goes to Indy at number 82. So in round 3, I'm going tight end. Give me Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State. Now, he's not going to work out at the combine. Foot injuries of the Senior Bowl going to cost him from that perspective. He wasn't utilized that much at Ohio State, but he's a very good blocker who I think will start early in his NFL career. Frankly, I think if the Titans take him in round 3, he could be your day 1 starter. You love the frame, you love the size, even though he wasn't used in the passing game. Although, when my receivers are Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Jackson Smith and Jigba, I probably wouldn't throw it very much to Ruckert or to Jeremy Ruckert either. PFF had a great player comp for him, Austin Hooper. That's what I think you're getting in Ruckert. He's not going to be an elite pass game option, but I think he can be serviceable there and will be a good blocker as well. A perfect round 3 pick for Tennessee. I would like him more than Jeff Swaim, than the Anthony Firkser hype. Remember that? That was fun in the preseason while it lasted. You know, Michael Pruitt. I would go tight end in round 3, unless Tennessee signs somebody, which would result in some changes. Others on the board here, by the way. 2 other tight ends I like. Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin. Cade Otton from Washington, under the radar name, who I like quite a bit. Quay Walker, if you want to go back to the linebacker, well, that's a good option there. Alec Lindstrom out of Boston College. I think, late day 2, early day 3 guy. If you don't resign Ben Jones or it's a 1-year deal, mid-round pick on center makes sense. And if you want to tackle, Rasheed Walker was on the board, but the good tackles were all gone at that point. Reminder, folks, if you want a mock draft with trades, I'll let you guys decide later on if we go up or down in round 1. Then like the video. Right now, if you want a mock draft with trades, go do it. Take advantage and show the bosses here that is something that you guys want. All right, round 4, notable picks off the board at 130. A linebacker I like, Darian Beavers out of Cincinnati. Dare Rosenthal, off-field stuff at LSU, but good at Kentucky, a tackle. Interior guys, Zachary Carter. I would have loved John Ridgway or Alex Wright. Both of them are gone, so instead, I will look for my potential Roger Saffold replacement in the future. Jamaree Salyer is the pick here out of Georgia. Now, there's going to be some disagreements on just how good of a prospect Salyer is, but I like him. He was an offensive tackle at Georgia. His length, 34-inch arm, says he can stay at tackle. His build, sub 6'3", 320. His play style, I think fits better on the inside at guard. On day 3, I see great value. PFF didn't like his run blocking. He's a waist bender, which you don't want. That gets you out over your feet, gets you leverage issues. You want to be a knee bender, just like when you're picking up something heavy. You bend with your knees, not your back. That can be corrected, though. On day 3, I would love the selection. Now, others on the board in round 4. Remember, 2 fourth-round picks, PFN, giving Tennessee a predicted comp pick. I thought about James Cook a lot. Calvin Austin, if you want to double dip at receivers. Dominique Robinson, some edge rush help out of Miami. Troy Anderson back at linebacker. And Leo Chenal as well. We will get to the other round 4 pick. It's one of those 5 guys. But first, what is the Titans' biggest need this offseason? Is it, you could say, QB. I did not pick a QB this year. But let me know what need you think is the biggest for Tennessee this year. I was going to go James Cook. I really was, but he's gone. Instead, I will pivot to Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin. This is a throwback linebacker, a Patriot-style linebacker. I think Mike Vrabel might like this kid in terms of his play style and maybe seeing some of himself in there, given what Mike Vrabel played at. He's got that throwback-style build. Not quite as tall as Mike Vrabel. Vrabel played at 6'4", 260-ish. Chenal, 6'2", about 260-ish. Now, his production was incredible at Wisconsin. 115 tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. The concern, he's not good in coverage. 1 career INT, 1 career pass breakup. But he can blitz. If he can cover, you have a Donta Hightower type of linebacker. If he cannot cover, I think Preston Brown, who you guys might remember, fits a little bit better as the player comp here. Got to use him right. In Tennessee's scheme, as a 3-4 inside linebacker, particularly on base downs, who can blitz some on third downs, I think he's a really strong fit. Now, we're going to give you guys daily videos all year long on the Tennessee Titans. We've got just over 2,400 subscribers. If you want more free videos, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. Dohnovan West out of producer Jack's alma mater, Arizona State. He has played all 3 interior offensive line spots. That's important when you get to the mid-ish, late-ish part of day 3. I think he's best at center in the NFL. His ideal fit, by the way, a zone blocking scheme. He's not that big. 6'3", 300 pounds. A little bit light in the pants for a center, but played pretty well for Arizona State. I think he's a top 5 center at this year's class. Power could be a bit of an issue, but he held up well in the Pac-12. On day 3, I love the value here. Others on the board in round 5. Josh Jobe out of Alabama. Marcus Jones is my guy. I take him in like all the mock drafts, but Titans don't need another corner here. You've got Elijah Molden. You can pass on him here. He should go earlier, but he should go top 100. Like, he's so good, especially on returns. Abram Smith is your best back left. Thayer Munford was the best tackle guard prospect left. And Neil Farrell also on the board, one of my guys in this year's class. Got some other picks coming up, but first, I want you guys to name an NFL draft sleeper prospect. Who's your guy not typically mocked early that you're a big-time fan of? Drop a name or names in the comments right now. Pick 203, round 6. All right, I'll do it again as I've done many a time on various mock drafts here at Chat Sports. Give me Neil Farrell Huge, huge run stopper. Older prospect, by the way, turns 24 as a rookie. Finally broke out this past year. Despite his size, he's 6'3.5-ish, 338. Doesn't play with great power. Arm length is a factor there. This is a classic 0 technique or 1 technique in the NFL. Has some decent juice, by the way. Reminds you of a bigger Antoine Woods. Got that bigger gut, which you want for a defensive lineman, mind you. Pressure rate was actually pretty solid. As a huge potential nose guard for Tennessee, finding one of those guys on day 2, I think day 3, I think is a good idea for Tennessee. So I like the idea of Farrell here. And then my other round 6 pick, Velus Jones Jr. out of Tennessee. I gave you guys a volunteer. You happy with me? Maybe? I actually like this pick a lot. It's not just because he went to Tennessee. I think it's a good value pick here. Outside the top 200. Breakout year, finally, for Tennessee. Jones is not going to go early because he's a soon-to-be 25-year-old prospect who didn't break out until his final year after transferring from USC to Tennessee. Bit undersized, sub 6 foot, but a good build. Good production, finally. Maybe because they actually had a good QB at Tennessee this past year. I like him as a slot receiver in the NFL with return value. He was a kick returner for the most part in college, some punt returns as well, and is a gunner. That is the type of guy you draft on day 3. He and Racey McMath is a fun little gunner combo on special teams, and Jones offers you return value as well. I think it's a nice under-the-radar fit for the Titans with the volunteer. So grade this mock draft for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Can be mean if you want. It's a pre-combine mock draft after all, but I got you guys good football players. Let me know what you think in the comments right now. And again, if you've got the picks, here they are. One more time, rapid fire. Treylon Burks, Arkansas, round 1, the receiver. Jeremy Ruckert, OSU tight end, round 3. Jamaree Salyer, round 4, out of Georgia to help some potential Roger Saffold long-term replacement. Chenal, out of Wisconsin, a throwback 2-down linebacker. 20 years ago, that guy's a first-round pick. Dohnovan West, center depth out of Arizona State. Farrell Jr., DT, nose guard for LSU, and Velus Jones Jr., receiver/special teamer, late in round 6. We'll have plenty of more NFL draft coverage here for you guys on Tennessee Titans Today, so if you haven't already, subscribe for more free videos.